And welcome to In-Game Chat for Saturday, February 7th, 2015. This is Season 9, Episode 6. I'm Scott.
I'm Nathan. I didn't know if I was going next.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. You're in the wrong seat. Yeah, so there you go. Whatever. Next.
I feel like giving a pause now, too. I'm Matt.
And I'm RJ.
Yeah, that's all that's here. Yeah, Dennis is not here with us. James is not here with us as well. I can't remember what Dennis said he had going on. Wedding or something? I can't remember. He had something he had to go to, and he couldn't make it to this show. James is hanging out in the chat room, actually, but he couldn't make it because he is a lot like what I was.
Sick?
This past week. Yeah, he's under the weather. I dropped off some medicine for him there yesterday, actually. And yeah, he's got the nasty. So
hope he feels better.
I actually, I didn't. Compared to what I felt last Saturday and the way I felt today, the middle of the week was gross.
I heard.
For me. Yeah. See, you listened to me during the week, and so yeah, it was bad. I didn't put in a full day at work until Thursday. Well, no, I put in a full day Monday, and then Tuesday they were like, "No, go home," because I sounded horrible on Tuesday.
Full Barry Manilow.
Oh, it was. I mean, it was really, really bad. Very bad. And so they sent me home Tuesday, and then I came in and did Wednesday, and then they sent me home again. And I went to the doctor and got a shot, nice little steroid shot in me. And then Thursday I put in a full day, and then Friday put in a full day. But I'm recovering now, so everything should be fine. But James is not, and hopefully he will be here next weekend. To do the show with us, and Dennis will likely be back as well. Anyway, welcome to the show. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. Phone is sitting right over there. Nathan will not be answering the phones. If you call, I will be grabbing the phones and just throwing you on air. 272-9228, and we don't like what you say, we'll just hang up on you.
Fair enough.
I mean like what you say, but if all you want to do is call and talk about something that's not about games, then or anything that's not on topic or whatever. If you want to treat it not like a radio show, FCC monitored radio show, by the way, then yeah, we'll hang up on you. Or
if we just feel like it.
And not necessarily. Not necessarily.
I'm kidding.
We got plenty of callers who do actually contribute to the show. We love you guys for doing that. So give us a call. 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at ingamechat. We can find us over on Facebook that Nate so dearly takes care of.
Try to.
No, you do a great job with that, man. You do a great job. You can email us, everyone, at ingamechat.net, and some of you actually do, and we appreciate that. We read everybody's email that gets sent in, and sometimes we read that stuff on the air as well. So send in your emails, everyone at ingamechat.net. We are streaming right now. Go over to twitch.tv, search for In-Game Chat, and you will be able to find us, and you'll be able to watch us if you would like, and you will also be able to hop in the chat room and talk with us and other listeners live while we broadcast.
You may even be able to have your question answered.
Usually, yeah, we will go. Some Mumnut says, "Are y'all in the new studio?" Yeah, we are. Video keeps freezing. Is it my computer problem?
I'm hearing from a couple different people.
Our streamer is showing that we're not dropping any frames, so I don't think it's us. Our upload here is massive, so I think we're probably okay. Yeah, it's not showing me any problems on the stream program, so I think we're okay. But yeah, so anyway, well, welcome to the show. Glad everybody is here to join us. I don't know if you guys are having video problems or audio problems. That might be a thing. I'm not sure.
Still working out the kinks in the new studio.
I'm curious. You know, every time we do this thing, every time it's an experiment.
It
Yeah.
is.
Every single episode is an experiment.
Then there's the technical part of it too.
Right. But yeah, it's an experiment as far as all this stuff is concerned.
Yeah, the settings you had last week are guaranteed not to be the same next time. You
We're doing this. I mean, seriously, I came in very early because I was planning on doing something else, going to put gas in the car, but I didn't have to do that. So I stayed here and I experimented with the cameras, trying to get a better idea how things looked and stuff, and it didn't sit right. So I moved everything back and then changed some settings elsewhere and whatever. But every time we do this, it is never the same as it was the week before because we're trying to make it better. And we'll just keep trying every single time. So James is saying it's stable for him so far. So
But with your feedback, it helps.
yes, it does. It really does. In fact, somebody's been giving us feedback over on YouTube saying that our levels are all wonky. So I'm paying attention to my audio levels on this episode to see if we can get something stable and good. And hopefully they'll comment again and say, hey, you fixed it. Good job. Or will let us know that, hey, it wasn't here, here's more specifics of it or something like that. I don't know. We try it every single week. So we just appreciate you guys showing up. We appreciate it when you call. We appreciate it when you write to us. We appreciate it when you give us tweets. We appreciate your interaction and your listening to the show. And without that, that's the only reason we would ever stop. If you guys stop listening, we'll stop doing this. So we appreciate it. None of us get paid for this. I work here, but I don't get paid for this particular aspect of what I do. I get this as a benefit of working here, I suppose. And I appreciate it. It is a perk. It's a wonderful perk to have 2 hours to talk about video games on radio.
Yep.
This is something that, and again, and James
Interact with fans.
and James was in the chat room, but it's something that good God, I've mentioned this on the show before, but you got to go back, obviously, 9 or more years, 10 years, I think. He'd come over to the house, and we would play on the GameCube, Zelda or something, or we'd watch something on TV, whatever, and we'd get done, and we'd sit there and chat before he would go, and those chats would turn into like hours, 2 hours, something like that, and then we realize, oh crap, let's go. It's like it's midnight. Let's go. But this is what we would do. We'd sit around, we'd talk about games, and we're like, man, we really wish we could do this, and talk to other people, not just ourselves. And that's kind of where the idea came from. So, and now we get to do it, and I think it's great. And so we enjoy it very much, and we have you guys to thank for letting us continue to do it. So welcome to the show. We ought to get right on into it and talk about the games that we played. I have played very little. I started in the middle of the week because I thought, when work sent me home, I thought, yay, free time to play some games. But boy, that did not last at all. I fired a couple of them up, and then it was like, I'm going to bed. So then I would just lay in bed. But I started Dying Light. God, I hate these stupid names. Dead Rising, Dead Light, Dying Light, Dead.
One of those.
Yeah.
No.
Dead Glimmer. I don't know. I started it up in the middle of the week, didn't do very much with it. And then, and by very much, I mean, first off, there was some long cutscenes in the opening.
Yeah.
It was forever before I had control of my character.
Yeah.
And once I did actually finally get control and got a weapon in my hand, that was when I'm going to bed. So when I fired it up this morning, I was very close to clicking on continue, but then I was like, let me look at this Be the Zombie thing. And then I started experimenting with that. And I went through the tutorial of how that works. Mm-hmm. And I'm still not satisfied with the button layout on the controller.
Are you using...
I'm just using default. I haven't really...
PC or PS3, I mean, 4? Or
I'm on PC. I'm playing on PCs, but I'm using the 360 controller.
Oh, 360 controller. Okay, that's what I was saying.
And maybe I should switch over and see how the keyboard stuff would work with this.
You could try it, yeah.
Because that actually might work better than using this. I'm just not a fan of the but attack is right trigger, but jump is right bumper.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seemed what is? I'm not sure what A does. I know when I was being the zombie, because that's the most recent thing that I experienced. That was howl.
Oh, A is interact.
Usually.
Oh, because it's like the X on the PlayStation.
Yeah, so it's
You know, that's
I
an
wish-
issue I've never had adapting to a game's controls. Like I
Mm-hmm.
can always switch to I don't ever switch to like one.
if I play it enough, I will become accustomed. I
Yeah.
really will.
No, I understand.
I'm-
I've never even thought even twice
Yeah.
about it. Like I've never changed.
What it'll screw me
remapped.
up is when I go to play something else after this.
That-
Then
that
it'll throw me
happens.
off.
Yeah, that
But
will
it just takes it's like getting into a pool. It takes a little while for you to get used to the water, and then that's
Well,
it.
What a beautiful.
Even
analogy.
so, if games like, because
Off
I'm,
the top of my
I'm
head,
playing
that's
on the
all I have.
PS4, if they would allow me to configure the button, that would be so much easier.
Yeah, and there's
Some
programs
games
for
have
the
done that before,
there's-
even on the console.
Yeah, there's programs for the PC that I could probably switch and do some binding with, but the more time I put into it, I'll get used to their controls and it'll be fine. But I do plan on putting in more time and effort with this. Did you finish the game?
I did. I've
All right.
completely beat it and returned it.
And you've taken it back, gotten that sweet $43.
I did, and then after I already calculated, I won't be, or once the order comes out, I'm gonna have like $8 over
Mhm.
being able to pay for that, because after this I'll be getting $15 worth of Best Buy gift cards.
Yeah, I know.
on top of that.
It's
So
nice.
then
I
I'll
told
really-
you about my Diablo thing, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I got more back from it than
Yep.
what I spent on it because I bought it during Black Friday. That's a great program
It is.
over at Best Buy. If you ever get a chance to be a part of the Gamers Club Unlocked, not for the retail price of what it is, what is it, like 100, 200?
It's changed so much. It's
I don't know.
It's almost always on sale for 100.
Yeah.
which is still ridiculous.
It's
but-
it's ridiculous.
well,
You get
it's $50 a year, but still.
Yeah, it's $50 a year. They don't sell it in single year increments though. They sell,
Yeah,
they
it's
sell it
2
at
years.
$100 per year, and it's a ridiculous price. So every now and again they'll have it where if you buy a certain amount of a game, you can pay $15 or something,
You
and you'll
just pay $60 for a game, you get a free year.
or you'll get it free or something like that. Just whenever you see these deals pop up, and if you are a frequent buyer of especially console titles, this is a good way to go to. It's the new rental system basically.
It really is.
You spend a few bucks, you get a game, and then you turn it in, and you get a lot of money
And
back.
depending what games that there are, if you get the $10 pre-order bonus after the 6th game of renting, you actually get a free game essentially.
Yeah, exactly.
You won't spend anything.
Yeah, so it's a good program. So anyway, you played it, beat it, and sent it back already. What
Yes.
did you think on your overall?
It is very enjoyable. It's got a good mixture of combat, running. Running is super smooth. I said that last week. They kept everything. They did a good job on that. Thankfully, I didn't play it on PC, so I didn't have all of the issues that all the PC players were having. Playing on console, they definitely prioritized the consoles over PC.
Mm-hmm.
But so that aspect, was fun. I really enjoyed the multiplayer. Me and Matt played.
Oh, nice! You
We
guys
had to
got
play
into
night, yeah.
We did it once.
co-op or
Yes,
we
did
okay?
both.
So you did.
We actually did.
What do you guys do? Tell us all about it.
Well, we did the. He hopped in my game. I was further along in the story, and so he did this mission with me, which actually I'm really glad he did it because it's probably one of the hardest missions. We first we had to clear out this area. We're actually in the second part of the city, which
Old Town?
Yes, and once you beat the game, you cannot go back to that city. So if you want to completely explore that city, you have to do it
Okay.
at that point.
Do they give you a heads up to that fact?
They do.
Okay,
They do.
that's good.
They let you know.
It's always nice
but I
when
still
they do
think-
that.
I think I didn't try to go back to the other city, so you could possibly, but it tells you can't go back to the other city. So
Mhm.
maybe I don't know. But anyways, we had to go through the sewer system, and then we had to clear out this building, and it was really fun. There was.
Yeah, it's kind of challenging.
It was. There was one part where you got on the one floor, and there was probably about 35 dead bodies just in this
Just
one
laying around. Just like you
Like,
think there's been a slaughter or something going down. You're like, man, that's pretty gross.
And so we go into this one room, and there's a little baby zombie, like a little kid
Really?
zombie.
Yes.
Yeah. But as soon as he does that, it's kind of typical, but the baby's a screamer and it calls other zombies. So,
So
as
all
soon as
those
that
dead
baby
bodies
starts
that we were
screaming,
wading
Oh,
through,
nice.
they weren't
everything.
dead.
So I mean, at one time we're probably having a fight, and this is just a regular building or apartment type building.
Yeah.
And there's probably about 30 zombies coming at us
Around, yeah.
just in that one little floor. And then I threw a Molotov at the baby. But anyways,
It was pretty funny.
which you get an achievement for, so heads up. But that was
You get
really
achievement
fun.
for specifically throwing a Molotov at the baby?
baby, yeah.
Was
Oh,
it-
okay.
Was
I
it
forget
called?
what was it called? Like
What was it called? Burn, baby, burn.
I think it was.
baby back ribs? I don't know.
No, it just said silencing something or
Yeah.
something with that effect.
They could
Whatever.
go so much better with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, and plus it's kind of satisfying. But
By the way, I wasn't shocked that they made a baby into a zombie.
I think it should happen more often.
Anything with like,
We've seen it before.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying anything with like babies and stuff, I get creeped out regardless.
What was that?
Okay, I will say
Dead Space 2?
Dead Space,
Dead Space.
2.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
The
Dead
nursery.
Space 2 had it.
Dead Space. Yeah.
Um,
and they changed it in 3. You notice that?
Dante's
I never played 3.
No,
Dante's
yeah.
Inferno had it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, stage
right,
2.
right.
With,
Yeah.
Lust, the circle
Mhm.
of lust. Yeah.
And
Those things were annoying.
I know there is a level in Painkiller that was a nursery,
Never played that.
and it was creepy and I just-
Nurseries in general can be kind of disturbing.
yeah, it was an abandoned nursery.
The
And,
did you
yeah.
play the original Max Payne?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did. Yeah, yeah.
You had that
Yeah.
dream sequence where you're going through I mean,
The problem with that dream sequence, though, the reason that didn't creep me out is because I was annoyed with the gameplay of that section.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
too focused on the platforming that they threw in that particular section
Yeah.
that I didn't care about
And
what was
and
going on.
you never
around
really
me.
saw a baby in that thing. You just saw the crib and the.
Yeah, that's all it
damage
was.
afterwards.
And
You
then a
never
little
saw
bit of the
babies,
baby
yeah.
crying thing type stuff, but it never. Yeah, it was never like what it was out of Dead Space or Dante's Inferno.
I remember that series. I remember that series having to look down, like directly on the top of Max's head, to even navigate properly through that whole.
It was
area.
horrible. You just
Yeah.
had to walk that little tightrope type
Yeah.
stuff.
If you fall off the edge, yeah, it's over.
That was annoying. Yeah, Callie Sense says the PT demo had a creepy baby thing in it. Yep, sure did.
Yep.
Creepy
Actually,
babies.
that was more of a fetus than a baby.
It was whatever. Yeah, but it was babyish.
It was.
Anything babyish is going to creep me out. So, but anyway, so zombie baby, you burned it.
So yeah, so we had to clear up the building, and so we kind of finished that mission, and then I showed him where that legendary sword was. I was telling
Right,
you
that you
about.
sent. Yeah.
Yeah.
I took him to that little. Did you do it at all?
Oh God, no.
You haven't done. Okay.
No, you sent me that, and then I was
Pretty cool sword. I mean, it has like 7 hits and it's done.
Yeah.
And what's funny about the sword is when you hit something, I mean, it's like a grand slam.
Oh yeah,
It
they
just shoots
they
it.
go flying.
It's hilarious.
We're laughing.
They said that I remember reading earlier when the game released that there was a glitch in the game that was also in Dead Island, where you could pick up a weapon.
Duping.
Yes.
Yes, I have experience with that. I'll tell you.
Okay.
I was gonna say that for the end, which was somewhat cheap, but it actually made me enjoy the game towards
Yeah.
the end of the level. But I'll explain that in a minute.
Okay.
So so then we were playing that. Before I was going to take him to the sword, I was going to show him multiplayer, be the zombie, which you were talking about.
Yeah, that's what I jumped
And
into.
so we
Because I noticed in the online settings, there's a specific section for online settings.
yes.
You can have your room be public, private, friends only, whatever. And then under that, it's zombie invasion, friends only, or turn it on or turn it off, something like that, where other people can join into your game as a zombie. And then co-op competitions. How often do you want those things to pop up? That sort of stuff. So there is there a specific multiplayer mode?
Yes, which is I guess be the zombies, the multiplayer mode.
Okay.
Just one mode. Which we did also do the challenges things you were doing, which
Yeah.
would be like,
Collect the most
say
loot.
you have to get to a point,
Mhm.
whoever gets there first gets extra XP,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I looked at the server, not the servers, but I went to the matchmaking for Be the Zombie on PC. There was 2 rooms. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah, there weren't much.
PS4, I mean, if I had left that open
Uh-huh.
the one time I did just to try it, I probably it would start a game for me every 10 minutes.
Mm.
It was just constantly people
Wow.
were playing it. Of course, the game had just come out, but still.
Right.
But so then we did that, and someone joined our game to do Be the Zombie. So it was just me and him in the old town, or Sector 0, or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And so we did that, and Matt kind of got destroyed.
Yeah, kind of.
He
It was bad.
but he never did it before, so it was understandable. And once you learn to just constantly carry the UV light, because as soon as it jumps at you, if you just shine the UV light, your guy kind of dodges them. So
I had experience with that
Pro
UV
tip.
light as I was doing the tutorial for Be the Zombie mode. That thing
'Cause-
annoyed the hell out of me.
I mean, during the
Why?
normal game, I don't use the UV light at all, really. I mean,
obviously, I did run it at night. I like to do things. I kind of got to the point where I would do things at night just for the
just for fun.
for the
I would say for the difficulty, wouldn't it? Because
Yeah.
everything's harder at night
Exactly.
in this game.
Yeah,
Right?
and you
Just
get
having
more reward.
I mean,
You know,
it's
for
fairly
for
easy to
points.
creep around everything, but
Yeah.
still giving me more that challenge of like, oh, crap.
This
Is
game-
that when you get invaded? Is it night?
Yes. Well, you mean when you play multiplayer, like without like, Be the Zombie? Is at night?
I guess.
Be the Zombies.
I mean,
yes.
I'm still confused on this because it seems like the online settings seem to pertain to your main campaign.
They do.
So then people can jump in and out. It's not
both. It's both.
okay.
There's settings for Be the Zombie, and that can start at any time. And if it's midday, all of a sudden you'll just see the sun like real fast, go fast forward.
It'll
and it turns
time
to
lapse?
night.
Okay.
Yeah, time lapse. Yeah.
Okay.
And then,
See,
but
that
if
makes
you're just
more sense.
doing or like co-op campaign, someone will just join and bam, they're right next to you, and then you just keep going with the mission. Now it's set to where you'll notice. I don't know if it does on a PC, but on PlayStation, it'll be like give you the thing to do the touchpad, and you can see how many people are on your current mission. And then it'll say 130, and then you click it, and all the people that are doing that mission, you can hop in and join with them.
Okay.
Which is what I did towards the end to
Yeah.
try that out. Which is where my experience of duping started. I remember hearing about it, but never thought anything of it. So we joined, probably about 85% in, right? And this guy joins us. It's me and this other guy playing, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey guys," and he's like, "You guys want any money or anything?" It's kind of like, sure. So he starts throwing money down. I mean, just real quickly,
Making it rain?
stacks. Yeah, F just 10,000. So I didn't really understand what he was doing. So next time, I have like 200,000 in cash. So then he's like, "Hey, you guys want any of these?" So he starts throwing supply crates down, and it's 99 stacks of the supply crates. And so I just picked up a couple of those, and then he picked up or dropped weapon upgrades. And I'm like, I know I'm returning the game, so it doesn't really matter. If
Right.
So I'm just
Go
like,
for
okay,
it.
so whatever. So I picked it up, and I pick up like 20 stacks of the weapon upgrades. And so once you churn in the supply drops, it upgrades your survival. It gives XP towards that. Well, churning in 300-400 supply drops instantly levels you to 25.
Oh wow.
So I got every single unlock in that tier. Now the other two are still like 11, 13, or 14, but the other one's 25. So like I got the grappling hook, but then I got every single perk with it. But then it also allowed me to go to the vendors and buy the best weapons, which is like another long sword, but then I could put my poison or electricity on them. So I had all legendary weapons, even rifles. And even though I don't approve of it, it made it really fun towards the end, because there's parts where you're running through the sewer and there's just a ton of zombies you have to kill. I mean, it would be definitely doable, but it's so fun just going through there and just slicing everything in half and just go through everything. And it actually made it really fun. Even though, not supposed to do it, but don't promote it.
They haven't patched it out, so
Yeah.
And it's actually super easy to dupe.
No, I think
See-
I think it's fine to put it in there because I think that gives you look. If you're not having fun with the game and
But
this somehow
I
makes
was,
it
though.
fun for
But it
you,
made it even
No,
more
I understand
fun.
that. I understand that. But for anybody else who may not be having fun with the game and they do this, there's their fun. They've unlocked their reason to continue playing this game.
And it was really cool if it's a kill hit. You said you hadn't played, right?
No.
Okay.
God.
You even notice that if it's if it's a critical strike or whatever, it goes slow mo real
Yeah.
quick. So with the big sword and every single thing I was hitting was just slow mowing, getting it cut in half for the whole time. So I mean, at one time there'd be like 30 or 40 zombies, and I'd just be like clearing the whole sewer out. It was really fun.
Part of me wishes that I would have gotten it on the PC, if nothing else, because I saw they had a mod online for the grappling hook, to where when you use the grappling hook, it has a cooldown timer. So this one actually allows you where there's no cooldown timer. So you can just use it, one
Well,
after
I
another.
mean, if you upgrade everything, that cooldown it doesn't I mean, you can pretty much keep going and it'll.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
If
see,
you get everything
I just
fully
got to level
upgraded.
12, so I just got
Yeah.
the grappling hook.
Yeah, it gets to the point where you just kind of forget that it even has a cooldown.
Okay.
So,
I'm guessing the grappling hook because I haven't used it other than when I did it back at E3. But it from what I can remember, because again I was going through and doing the Be the Zombie tutorial, and it was doing the tentacle stuff with your whatever those things
Yeah.
are, and they worked a lot like a grappling hook. You would reach out and go.
It is. It's the
And if
same
you held the
mechanic.
button, then he would just crawl over the ledge or get on top. But if you let go, he would launch himself. And then you could grapple again.
Yeah.
And then just kind
It's
of.
the same mechanic.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just kind of how they.
Like monkey swing through the entire.
What you can
Through
do
the
now.
entire map.
I mean, it does have a cooldown, like I said, but you kind of don't notice it if you just kind of keep climbing. But the Be the Zombie, you can climb a lot faster than.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so I got to experience the dude.
How'd you like the ending? Did you beat it, right? Yeah,
Yes,
how'd you like
yes.
the ending? This is what I read about the ending. Somebody, this was, they were praising the game for fixing a lot of the problems that people had with
Correct.
Dead Island. And yet, at the very end, they threw all the problems back in. And I don't know what he meant by that, because I did not play Dead Island.
I never beat Dead Island.
Yeah.
I know the issues it had towards the end. My biggest issue, the final boss was a, what is it called? The Q. Where you just hit the buttons.
That was
Oh,
quick
quick
time.
time?
Quick time, yeah.
QTE.
Yeah, QTE. that's
Oh.
the QTE. Final boss was.
I love QTEs.
My only issue was it hadn't been through the whole game.
Right.
It's not in there the whole game.
So there is exactly what they were explaining. And,
Yeah.
and I understand that. I understand that frustration.
Yeah, if you're going to put it in there, don't just put it in towards the end.
Yeah.
it's
I
the
mean, there's
base.
a little bit of QTE when they grab you and you have to hit the X.
But that's
or-
just kind of game mechanic.
Yeah.
This is.
That's not a full-on fight.
Yeah, this is a 2-minute fight where you're just X.
Or not even a full-on
square.
fight, but I mean, there are many games that have had QTEs like sprinkled throughout the
Yeah, exactly.
game. But if they don't have it and then they just throw it to you at the
Randomly,
very end
yeah.
to defeat a boss, that's yeah, I don't like that either.
And I also don't want QTE if it's randomized. So if you fail, you kind of have to. You just got to kind of learn to be quick.
Yeah.
This is the exact same thing because I failed like 3 times and then I just learned it was the exact
Yeah,
same.
it's
button.
the same complaint I had with Splinter Cell, Conviction, I think,
Yeah.
whichever one it was. The stealth, and then it was like, nope, no stealth here. Force you to go into a fight. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
no, there's no way to be stealthy here. You just need to be
That was kind of the end
forced
of
right
Metal
into
Gear
it.
Solid 4. I don't know if you ever played that.
I think it happens a lot in games.
Yeah.
And I don't know why necessarily that it's got to happen.
Well, I can tell you why for Dying Light. The story was going great, and I actually felt like they had a lot more story planned for that game. I think they either just decided to end it there, or it just kind of needed to end or stop. It did, once you beat the protagonist, it just kind of ended. And,
Hmm.
oh, there should be, blah, blah, blah for the end, typical kind of ending. But I kind of felt like they could have added more to that ending.
How long do you think it took you to go through that whole thing?
Like total playtime?
Yeah. What was your total playtime? Do you?
With me goofing around, total and everything, I think my playtime was 18 and a half hours at
Mhm.
most. I could have beat it in probably about 12 or 13, but that was with me goofing around and doing other little side missions and stuff.
Yeah.
I wanted to at least
A lot of
advance.
it's exploration time,
Yeah.
just,
Mhm.
you know,
And,
navigation.
the grappling hook does increase your time moving, but it's really not a whole lot. But like I said, it still felt really good to where you can't get too.
I just know that when at E3 they put me at the beginning of the game and going through setting traps and stuff, and the movement was whatever. But when he moved me to the end, not towards the end of the game, but moved me to a higher level where weapons and stuff were upgraded, and I had the grappling hook, I had more fun there, swinging at zombies. And then as soon as he's like, "Yeah, just aim your thing and then hit the button,"
Yeah,
and that
so-
grappling, I was like, "Oh, all right, I'm here with you. This is Batman for me. I'm
Yeah.
I'm right there with you because this is." This fixes any kind of maneuverability issues that I might have
And
run into
you also
since it's
kinda-
got the quick out.
You also
know.
kind of run into that issue where you don't get the super cool thing until towards the end of the game. So
I always hate that too.
I know it
I got a bunch of pet peeves in my games. One of them is focusing on a game mechanic and then at the very end throwing a different game mechanic into it.
That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Drew in the chat room mentioned that Deus Ex Human Revolution had that for every boss fight. It was something. It was completely.
It was, completely
It
different.
was horrible. And they admitted to that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But Splinter Cell did it. let's be stealthy. And then at the very end, I think, or in some levels, it was like, oh, no stealth here. That's a pet peeve. The other one is
The superpower at the end. The like.
well, yeah, like it's
Second
Infamous.
Son.
Yeah,
Second
Yeah.
Son.
Infamous beat the whole thing, get
Yeah.
the main power at the end, and I've got nothing to use it on.
Yeah.
And then I think Darksiders did this, and I want to say, I don't think Metroid. I think Metroid has done this before, but start you with everything.
And then take it away.
Start you with these great powers, and they make you use them while you're going through this tutorial-like area, and you're using them. And then in the story, it takes it all away, and you have to go out and collect them again, or
Yeah.
or build them back up. Never enjoyed
With this
that.
game, it did make the, the pet peeve of taking everything away, and you had to deal with that twice. But luckily, what they didn't do that was bad is that as soon as you finish that little section, you instantly get to your gear bag and you get everything back.
Yeah.
So it's not. I hate when they're like, okay, now you got to go back home, and then you can get everything back. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
Is there a New Game Plus?
I don't know. I didn't look at that. I don't think there is, but there might be.
Because that'd be neat if you could like just run through it again, all maxed out.
There probably is. I don't know. I didn't look at that part.
I rarely do it. I rarely do a New Game
Exactly,
Plus.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all of my experience for Dying Light. I greatly enjoy that. It's a fun game. It really is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thoroughly enjoying it
And
myself.
The zombie combat they did.
Did you play anything else other than Dying Light? Have you played? What else
yes,
have you?
I have a list.
Oh, you
I
have a
took-
list. Good God, man,
have a
you are
list.
nailing it. Go for it.
I played more Insurgency. Haven't.
I saw when you sent me the text or when you sent the message on Steam today. While I was in Dying Light, I saw that you were playing Insurgency,
Mm-hmm.
and so I immediately quit out of Dying Light and started installing Insurgency because
Oh,
I
yeah,
realized I
okay.
didn't have that installed because
Yeah.
I wanted to jump in and play with you.
Yeah, I just played one round.
Because I was like, we got to
I had
get some
go.
in so we can talk about it. But yeah,
Yeah, I just played a single round of King of the Hill, which is fun as well.
yeah.
It's really fun just getting two-shotted.
Well,
Not like
it's
Call of
installed
Duty.
now on
Okay.
on my system, so we should play. We
Sounds
should
good.
play tonight after the show. Get in there and get some co-op time together.
Let's see. I did my typical Hearthstone. It's
Right.
probably one of my most favorite games of the last couple of years. That game is just nailing it for me. I took part and purchased the Star Wars Humble Bundle, dude.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sent me a text about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned it to me, and mentioned that it's perfect for you because you didn't have a lot of those
I didn't
games.
have any of them.
Right? Wow, that's a fantastic deal.
It was really
What'd you
good
pay?
for
Like
me.
$12?
$12.
Oh my God!
And I got 8 with more supposed to be coming. They hadn't announced the other ones. Which I played Battlefront 2, which brought memories back.
I still love that
game,
one.
which I didn't know there was mods for it. So I was
Yeah.
looking up the campaign mods and stuff. So have more to play on those. But I've never played Commando.
Oh, really? You never played Republic
No, I
Commando?
don't- what system was that on?
That was on the PC and the original
Xbox.
Xbox
Yeah.
and
I don't know why I
PlayStation.
never played that on my Xbox. That is a fun game. I probably
Yeah.
I was like, okay, let me start it, because I read what it was about. I was like, okay, that's cool. It was like 2 hours later. I was like, okay, I gotta stop playing this. This is, I mean, games should have more of the whole, I know it kind of faded away. It was pretty big during the PS2/Xbox, but more games need to come back with that whole, group
four-person
leader-
team.
yeah, group leader type
Mm-hmm.
game style. I really enjoyed that. And then I also tried Transistors and
Oh, that's right. I've got those free games. I haven't done anything
Apathon,
with them.
however the heck you say it. Apathon?
Something like
Apathy,
that.
However you say it. Both good, even though they're kind of glitchy. Have you heard about that whole...
Uh-uh.
The achievements are swapped. If you play
What?
one, you could get achievement for the other game. I don't know how that's happened, but they're kind of glitchy. And you can't platinum either one. Because there's two... I forget which game it is, but there's 2 trophies that you cannot get right now. It's glitched.
Because the game's glitched.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But yeah, if you play Apathy or
I'm not a
however you
big
say it-
platinum kind of guy. I know there are some people who do though.
I only have 4.
Yeah. I have 1 on my PlayStation. I have 1.
I have like 1,000 of everything else. But anyways, I know my one friend playing the one got an achievement for Transistors, but he hadn't even played Transistors yet.
Oh wow.
But yeah, so that was my list.
Goodness, you get some. I totally forgot about the. I always forget about those PS Plus
And
games.
then I always say that.
I
and you're like,
download
need to play
them.
those.
Yeah, I go through and I click and I'm like, let me make sure I add them to my cart and everything else
Yep.
to make sure I have them, and then I never think about them again. So,
Are
RJ, what about you? What have you been up to?
More work on fighting games.
Obviously, yeah.
Ultra Street Fighter 4, Guilty Gear Xrd. Played a little bit of Virtua Fighter 5 because they recently announced that there's going to be a little side tournament for Virtua Fighter 5 Final Showdown at Final Round this year. So I'm going to be working on that as well. So
Are you getting into that side tournament?
I'll be getting into it.
Does it cost to get into that one too?
Yeah, it's you don't have to. Since it's a side venue, you don't have to be a official venue goer for Final Round. You can just be there for attendance. So it's only a $5 fee to get in there for that one. Played a little other stuff as well. Played a little bit of 1942 Joint Strike on PlayStation Network, as well as Pac-Man Champion Edition DX.
I love that game.
Every now and then I'll get back into it, especially when you have people watching you play and they see how fast it can go and the chain of combos you can get off that. That's really amusing to get folks.
Was that the first one or the second one?
First or second?
Because they had the Championship Edition, and then did they have another?
The only one I ever had was a Championship Edition DX.
Okay, I think DX is the second one because they had another one. They had one where they added way more ghosts that you could actually chain them and everything. The first one was, I think, just the Champion Edition. Okay. Where they just had they mix up the tables and still just the 4 ghosts.
Okay, there's a lot of different tables in this one, and there's a big chain of ghosts that you can get in this one. So I'm not familiar with the first one. Just like I said,
there is a pattern to that, and it hasn't worked in a while. But I remember when it was on Xbox Live, I would go to the leaderboards on that whichever particular one I was using. I'd go to the leaderboards. I'd go to the first person who was in the lead, and you could watch their game, and there's like a specific pattern to get the most out of each map that you come into. There's a certain pattern because then you'll get that trail of ghosts, and then you can hit one of those pellets and then just turn right around.
Yep.
And go right into them.
Get your chain going.
Huge chain, yeah. God, I love that game.
I also remember there was a fourth game I bought last week. I mentioned the flash sale on PS Plus. I remember the fourth game I bought was Resogun.
Nice.
It was available on PS3, so I
is it now on PS3? I picked it up on the Vita. Because it was a freebie on the Vita, and
I got it on the PS4.
Yeah,
it was on the PS4 a long time before it was on PS3. So,
it was only on PS4 exclusively for a very long time.
Okay. Yeah, we played it up in the upstairs studio a while
Eventually, it did make its way to PS3 and to PS Vita, and it was, I believe, free for those systems.
It was free.
So I grabbed on the Vita. I played a ton of that on the flight out to PAX.
Yeah. Other than that. Dark Souls 2, I've been getting back into that because of the update they did on February 5th as preparation for Scholar of the First Sin. New lore, I haven't found it yet. That's the funny thing about Dark Souls 2. You know, they tell these updates, but they don't really give you much information about where to find it. You have to, before you got to play the game to find out where all the stuff is, because it was the same way with all the DLC that was in there as well. Looking at articles about the Dark Souls 2 update, it was about, a few updates on items, on tasks, and things of that nature, updates in the covenants you can join. I think better benefits when you do certain things in certain conditions. And Resident Evil, the HD remake, I was playing a little bit more of that, doing a lot of backtracking, which I haven't had to do a lot of in any Resident Evil game for a long time because of the limitations on how much you had. Playing a playthrough with Chris, so I only have like 6 slots for equipment and items. So I've been doing a lot of back and forth between take this back to the box, go out, get this other item, take this back to the box. Found shotgun ammo. I'm like, I don't have a shotgun, but I can't pick it up because I've got all this other stuff on me as well. So it's been a lot of backtracking so far. And outside of that, that's pretty much all I've been playing.
Now, I sent you some pictures. Yeah. I'm looking at my pictures now. I sent you some pictures over the week because I remember saying that I have a bunch of 360 games, and you have a 360, you can, borrow some of them. And what did you say you were interested in?
I was looking at the Most Wanted you have for Need for Speed as well. But then, for some reason, your picture sent me 3 exact copies of the same picture. I don't know if that was my message or yours or whatever. But we had like a little row, like maybe 10 or 12 games, and then it repeated the same process 3 times over.
That's odd.
So yeah,
sorry about that.
I may not have your full list because I'm pretty sure you have more than 12 Xbox 360 games.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, no, I do. Yeah, that's odd. So then you probably didn't get the picture that had Pure.
No, I didn't. But I have Pure.
I know. I knew you'd played it.
Yeah, I got it from Best Buy years ago when they dropped it for some reason to $10.
Yeah. I'm looking at my list now,
Mm-hmm.
and or at least the pictures of my list. I do have Dante's Inferno, but I know you've played that.
Mm-hmm. Got the Divine Edition on that one.
I have Two Human. I don't think you've
Two-
ever experienced
no,
that
I've
because it
never-
was a 360 exclusive.
Experience it. Is it you say like it's a singular event?
Oh man, James could give you more on this. In fact, people in the chat room probably give you more on this than I could. But Two Human was Dennis Dyack.
Mhm.
One of his last efforts of games.
Trying to do something.
Silicon Knights.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually kind of enjoyed it. And it had co-op in it and everything else, but that was a that's probably a collector's item actually at this point because they actually, because of the lawsuit between Silicon Knights and Unreal,
Okay.
they pulled copies from the shelves. You couldn't buy them anymore. I think you could buy used copies, but they pulled the retail stocks.
I'm about to say that makes the value go up.
Yeah, I would think so.
It's new on Amazon for $24.
Well, I think after the litigation was done, which it is now, that they're back in. But at the time, whenever that started happening, they pulled them. If you like QTEs, I have the Bourne Conspiracy. That is nothing but QTEs. And I'm serious. It is nothing but QTEs.
Wow.
You obviously got the picture that had Most Wanted on it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's Prey. Crackdown, of course. I don't think you ever got a chance to play Crackdown.
I've never played
Because it was
Crackdown.
only on the 360.
Only on 360.
Condemned is in there.
Mm-hmm.
Red Dead Redemption, but I think you played that.
I haven't played that.
You haven't played that either.
Mm-mm.
Great
Some
one.
some really good stuff.
Yeah.
Kane and Lynch, Time Shift, The Darkness, the first one. Overlord, which is another great one.
Mhm.
You've never played Viva Pinata, but I have Viva Pinata if you're
It's a fun game.
I know, right?
I
It's
like
the
it.
reason I still have it in my thing and never took it back and traded it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just let me know what you like from that stack, and I will bring them to you.
Yeah, just resend me the pictures, man. I'll
I will.
do it. Yeah, because
I'll do it during the break
Just
here.
copied the first one and then just did it all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mondo says, "What is a QTE?" QTE is a QuickTime event. QuickTime events, if you're not familiar with what those are, is whatever action's going on the screen, and then a button will pop up on the screen for you to press, and it is a quick timed event. So you have a very short amount of time to press whatever button pops up on screen as it happens.
Yeah.
So,
It's like
I think wasn't Shenmue one of the first ones?
Shenmue was one that did that. It was like during a sequence
The fight
where
sequence
Ryo
and-
was fighting somebody and he was in he loses his balance, and to regain your balance quickly, you tap whatever direction they give you on the pad, and if you do so, you regain your balance. If you don't, of course, you fall down and you get hurt or injured or whatever, and that comes up. That comes up a lot during that game. You know, sometimes you have more time to react than others, especially near the end. The window got really small near the end of that game. Your quick time, you had to be on point, because if you weren't, you were gonna mess up a lot.
The first game I ever remember dealing with QuickTime events was Jack and Daxter 2.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the first game that I had to deal with QuickTime events.
I think, or with mine, you had to collect. It was like a slot machine, but you had to like hit X, circle, square. It was pretty hard.
I can't remember the first game that did it to me. I for whatever reason, I think probably, I obviously had a good experience the first time they ever came about with me, because
Way back when.
I enjoy them. I actually do enjoy them.
Yeah.
I remember, because I played them back when Shenmue first came out, and so, I remember when they first started, but the one that annoyed me, I remember, was Resident Evil 4. Some of the fights, when you're doing against Krauser.
Oh, that was a tough one. Those were, because those involved, on the PlayStation pad, if you can picture it in your head, involving hitting square and circle, or the cross with the triangle and X. At the same time, you had to let go, take your fingers and pivot the top of the pad, because you weren't doing it with your thumb. I remember those fights with Krauser. Those were really long, drawn out. I mean, I don't know if I remember failing.
Several times.
So dozens
Yes.
of times in that fight, because of not being ready for the dual button press that I couldn't do with my thumb.
For the most part, the QTEs, I deal with them. I was playing through Force Unleashed, and anytime you have a big boss fight or something like that, there's quick time events. Those were okay. They're what they were. I just remember the Resident Evil 4 is the one that really just annoyed
I was
me.
going to say the first one where I probably experienced that, and this is me plucking something from the past, which I'm sure it wasn't the first time I experienced it, but it's the one that I remember where it kind of set in for me as playing games. This is a quick time event. God of War.
Oh, yeah.
The very first God of War, the very first thing you fight, the three-headed serpent on the boat, was nothing but quick time events. And then most of the time, the boss battles, that's what they were nothing but quick time events in there. And I could try and analyze like why I like them so much, and I believe it's because it makes me feel better than I am. Yeah. Because all I have to do is press a button every time it pops up on screen. I don't have to remember any combos. Good God, if the fatalities in Mortal Kombat were QuickTime events, I would love it. Just so that I could pull those things off. In fact, by the way, since we're coming around to me now as far as what I played, last night I watched a 9-part series of the history of Mortal Kombat on YouTube.
Really?
Nice.
Yes. Each one was about 20 minutes long. And it was a 9-part series on the history of Mortal Kombat. Some of those I skipped through because it covered stuff that I just was not interested in.
Oh, like
Right.
the Sub-Zero...
That I was actually interested in. It was Mortal Kombat Special Forces.
Okay.
I don't even know if that made the light of day. I think it did, but I can't remember. It was the one that had Sonya and Jax in a...
Yeah, Special
Yeah.
Forces.
Yeah.
Like a little side story thing.
Yeah, it
like
covered...
with, Sub-Zero mythologies, things like that.
Yeah, it covered every single aspect. It covered the 2 movies. It covered the live tour. It covered...
Mortal Kombat on Ice.
If there was one, it would have covered it, but apparently there never was. It covered the live-action television show Conquest, Mortal Kombat Conquest. It covered the animated series, and not like the Saturday morning animated series, but one that was just like a few episodes on. They were released on like video.
I'll have to get that from you.
it
I'd like
covered-
to see those.
You
Direct
don't have
to
to get
video.
it. It's on YouTube.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm like...
Yeah,
get
yeah.
From you, like, what-
MK Secrets, I think, is what it is the channel or something. But yeah, it was fascinating because they started out talking about obviously the creation of Mortal Kombat,
Right.
and then it said how well it did in the arcades and stuff, and then it said with revision 1 point whatever to the arcade machine, they also added in Reptile, or they added in this little whatever, these different things, and the way that they would throw in. They would throw in hints in like the debug menu of the machine to throw people off.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've always had history of that of giving little subtle
Like
hints and
Ermac.
clues and things like that. Yeah.
Was,
Yeah.
error macros. And they're like, oh, that must be a character. No, it's
It
error
was,
macros.
in fact, that was there. That was in one of the debug menus, and it got so much talk that when
They actually made a character.
No, when they revised it, and this is in MK1,
Okay.
when they
Yeah.
when they did another revision of the game, they took that out because people kept thinking that existed, that something like that existed. Ermac didn't show up until Mortal Kombat 3 or 4, or I think it was 3.
I think it was
Posted-
Ultimate 3.
I posted the first episode
Yeah.
in chat.
Yeah, and so just go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And and you'll be there for a while. The audio on that first one is not very good. The narrator for the entire series has, it sounds like some of the editing, of course, me talking about audio, and we can't get ours straight, but some of it was a chore to get through, but that first one's a little bit off, but the rest of them are fine.
Game Trailers also did a retrospective on...
They did a 2-part retrospective.
Yeah.
That went further than this goes into.
I mean, it's still interesting. It's, history.
I mean, it went further in the timeline of Mortal Kombat than
Okay.
this goes into. This
Yeah.
stops at Deception,
Okay.
Mortal Kombat Deception. So it never makes it to
9.
MK versus DC. It never makes it anything past Deception, which was still on previous consoles, which was still on Xbox and PlayStation. So they didn't go into the next gen era of the 360 and the PS2 or the PS3. So the Game Trailers one goes further in the timeline, but this one goes deeper into the timeline. It doesn't go as far into the timeline as the Game Trailers one, but good God, it goes deep.
Yeah.
So very deep into the whole thing.
I like stuff like that.
I don't know why. I was fascinated by it. Somebody posted a thread on NeoGAF about it, and I mean the links were just, there was a ton, and I thought, well, let me see what this is. I'm always interested in seeing how I like game trailers, retrospectives of
Me
stuff.
too, I
They
love
did
that
like
series.
the 5-part Metroid series, and they did a 5-part.
13-part Star Wars. They did
I never saw the
Fantasy.
Star Wars, but
Oh,
I've watched the
good stuff.
Metal Gear ones. I've
Yeah.
watched the Zelda ones, the Metroids, the Mega Mans.
They didn't do Mega Man
They did do a Mega Man.
for retrospective.
They've done a Mega Man.
I'll have to look back.
I'm almost positive they've done a
'cause
Mega Man.
I could have sworn. I mean, I've watched them all. I'll look
I
back.
enjoy them. I enjoy
Yeah,
them.
good stuff.
But this one, I really liked how deep it went into with this. I think somebody's done one on Legacy of Kain series.
That'd be a good one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I know. It would be very, very good. I just don't know. It's not the same one, so you don't get the same format as everybody else follows. So it doesn't actually. It may not go as deep as you'd like it to go, or give you as much as you'd like. So, anyway, I enjoy them very, very much, and that's what I did for most of my evening last night was watch this 9-part series on Mortal Kombat. I had actually sat down to play some video games, and then I clicked on this, and I just got sucked in. So, and there you go.
It happens.
Yeah, I did play. I mentioned I played a little bit of Dying Light. What I did fire up last night and play more of than I played anything else so far, because I've been so far behind, was Sunless Sea.
How's that?
That is finally out of early access. It is finally a, whatever you want to call it, legitimate title. It's not in early access anymore.
Retail.
Yeah, if you want to call it that. It's only on Steam. It's only on PC. What I will tell you would make you think that it's not going to be a game that I enjoy, but it's a game that I enjoy. There's a lot of reading involved. The story is told in words. This is not a game that tells you the story. This is not a game that you play through a story. This is a game where you read the story.
Okay.
There are moments of gameplay that you have to go through. There's inventory management. There is some combat aspects, but for the most part, this is all written in words and stuff, and you've got to use your imagination a lot. You've got to read a lot and make decisions, and I had a lot of fun with it. I didn't play very much of it, but what I did play made me want to play more. Keep in mind that I started playing this after a very long stint of watching Mortal Kombat videos, so I put in some time with this and said, you know what, I'm going to put in a lot more time with this. I really, really like it. So check that out. It's on Steam. It is called Sunless Sea. And that's pretty much what I played. Matt, over to you. What have you?
Just Dying Light.
Dying Light, that's all you played?
Yeah, that's this has been a busy work for me at work. Work's been really busy this
That's
week.
fine. No, that's
so,
fine.
that was the only thing I was able to. But like I said, Nate and I got to play one night, and that was just a lot of fun. That's the first time I've done multiplayer on the PS4, so it is neat to be able to finally do that. Get a chance to, and I just last night actually I just leveled up to 12 for my Survivor, so I got the grappling hook, which is making it way more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I do like how the grappling hook acts as that special, if you're falling, you could, grappling the ground and do a safe landing.
Oh, nice.
Because I did that once. I jumped off. I was like, oh, and I just grappled the ground.
There was some other game that did that.
I'm like, I know this defies every law of physics.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
It should, but
there was some
I'm
other
glad.
game where you wouldn't take falling damage
Yeah, if
because
you
you
use
could do some kind of thing to where it would propel you to that area and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what game
I
it
think you
was.
could do that with Battlefield. Just pop a parachute real quick. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
Speaking of Battlefield, do you play Hardline?
Nope.
No?
Don't need to. I already played the last time.
See, I never did because I was at E3 when that happened.
I have no intentions of getting that game.
You don't want to see if anything's changed?
I know nothing's changed. I've watched people play it.
Oh, okay.
They've added things, but it's a mod.
Yeah.
It's worse than a usual mod. It's a mod.
That's fine. No, that's fine. I didn't play very much of Battlefield 4, if any at all. I did not play the Hardline alpha, beta, whatever it was during E3.
Yeah.
I have it installed, but I have not done anything with
Funny
it.
thing was that was the beta, and then when everyone was like, "This is not good," they were like, "Oh, okay," and then took it back. That was technically an alpha.
Oh.
They changed that game,
Mm.
but it's still mod.
You were saying something. I thought they were Matt.
Oh, just real quick, last thing on Dying Light, I guess. I don't like dying. It is.
I kind of want to ask you why, but I mean, nobody likes to die in their games, so.
Oh no! I mean, normally you die in a game, whatever. This one it penalizes you with you lose depending on how you die. You lose survivor points. So
That's the category where you get your grappling
where you get your
hook.
grappling hook.
Oh.
Yeah, exactly. So like you'll be going through and like I had one time I was very close to leveling up with my survivor points, and I was on this mission and it was just really tough. I just kept on dying, and it sucked me all the way back down to the very beginning of where I didn't have any for that level, that I was on for.
Yeah,
and
you
so
don't,
I had to.
you don't lose that level.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
just go to the beginning.
You won't level. Yeah, you don't lose all the. You just have to start back. Like if you're at level 12, you have to start reaccumulating them, and so that's why it's like you start to be really careful. So
You'd have to.
yeah,
It's like was it like in City of Heroes where you had the hit points and your experience points and your
yeah. When the death is tied into
bar.
that, yeah.
Mhm.
You start being really cautious.
Penalized for dying. I've
Yeah.
never been a fan of that.
But this one wasn't as bad as like City of Heroes.
I was going to
where-
say, because that's
yeah.
where it ruined it for me,
Yeah.
was City of
It
Heroes.
really
was my
did.
first experience of XP debt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't understand. I mean, it's not that I didn't understand it. I just accepted that for, okay, this is it.
I'm trying to remember. Wasn't there a benefit to having that penalty? You had like a higher percentage of XP gained or something, or
I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There was some kind of benefit. It wasn't completely a complete penalty. There was a benefit to having that debt in your XP of some kind of way.
I forget.
I forget. It's been a while since I played the game.
This one's not as bad where
Yeah.
I'm not as worried. I mean, yeah, I still die, but then I'm just like, 2,000 points taken off because, I jumped and didn't land properly on, the pad or whatever. And I was like, oh, man. But when it happens like several times in a row and you can see like you're back at, like you have 0, points towards your survivor, for that, you have to like sort of like redo it. That's where it's like, okay, this is making me be cautious.
I think at most I died like 6 times, so that
Yeah.
didn't really affect me too much.
So, what are your defensive abilities in this game?
Defensive meaning like
Other
Like
than running-
if there's
other than running away, what
like
you
they
got?
have different ones where if a zombie charges at you, if you put if you put the skill point towards it, you could actually sort of like judo redirect them into so if they're charging at you, could like sort of like push them past you. You could you could actually jump over and vault over them, and if you level that up, you could stun them as well.
Okay, so at least you got options. in
There-
how
there are
to
options, yeah.
Get away from a zombie or whatever. If you need
Yes.
to.
yeah,
Okay.
it's
It-
very fluent into where it's not like a really hard struggle to get through.
Yeah.
You can get around.
Okay.
What's bad is when you're if
they're
you're just
slow during
not
the day.
paying attention because you're all focused on something else, and they have the boomers, the ones that explode. Those are kind of like a one-hit kill. So if they explode next to you, you're dead.
Okay.
So like last night, I wasn't just quite paying attention, and then the one snuck up on me and blew up. I was like, oh, well, didn't see that coming.
JLC, the owner, says Just Cause 2, that was the other game where you could not take falling damage because all you had to do was grapple to the ground.
Yes, exactly.
That's the one I was trying to think of. But yeah, you could jump out of a plane and skydive forever how long, get that little achievement. As soon as you got very close to the ground, just boom, pop the grapple.
Well, and for that one, I had the mod for the Superman. Superman mod.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, there's great mods for that.
Yes.
And from what I understand, that Dying Light will get mods for the PC version. They're going to allow them.
Like
mods.
I said, the one for the grappling hook's already out.
Mm-hmm.
So.
So anyway, I think that covers pretty much all of our game stuff, which is great. We're going to come back and talk about, I don't know, we got Sony getting rid of their Sony Online Entertainment, not being Sony Online Entertainment anymore. Got that coming up, and what else do we have here? Club Nintendo's going away, but I never did anything with that, and I'm not sure. I would think, Dennis may be able to tell us a little bit about that. I don't know if he was involved with that as well. So plenty, and if you'd like to get in your opinion on things or like to have us discuss something, which I know there were some people in the chat room wanted to discuss PlanetSide 2. I didn't play very much of it when it was on
James
PC.
did.
James put in a lot of effort when it was. Well, I don't know if he did. He.
I'm pretty sure he played it. I don't know
I know he's
how
played
much.
PlanetSide, but I don't know about PlanetSide 2.
I thought I heard him complain
played
about
some
it.
of
Yeah,
PlanetSide
I'm
2.
sure he did. But yeah, so I haven't played any of it on the PlayStation. I played it all on PC whenever I did play it, and not very much of it, to be honest with you. So, but yeah, you can call in 334-272-9228. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll have more of In-Game Chat in just a moment. Here's music from Kingdom Hearts 2. And welcome back to In-Game Chat. That is music from Silent Hill.
You know, that music's still creepy.
It's also very loud. I need to adjust the levels on that track particularly.
We'll hear about it in YouTube.
I'm sure we will. That throws everything off. Very, very loud track.
Might just
You
want
found
to
that-
get rid of that part.
Yeah.
Find
Well,
it creepy, huh? Matt?
I think it's.
Yeah.
I think it reminds people of.
Well,
I
it
mean,
reminds me. I mean, you know,
If I
because
heard
it's
that-
a
if I
very
heard-
distinct.
Yeah.
You know, like some tracks, like we're like, oh, who is that? We don't know. But you hear that, you know exactly. If you've ever come anywhere close to Silent Hill games, you know exactly that the way the guitar.
If I'd never
starts.
heard it in a game before, I would think it's an Italian restaurant. That startup with
Really,
the
to me, it sounds more Spanish.
maybe
You know, like a Mediterranean.
something like that, but it
Sorta.
doesn't sound. Yeah, it doesn't sound. I don't think horror game.
You
when
wouldn't
I-
apply it to a horror game.
Right.
If you heard it, if you never.
I
if you
wouldn't
never
apply
heard
it to
of
a
Silent
horror
Hill.
film. I wouldn't apply
Yeah.
it to anything scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, it has that association.
Yeah. I
From
mean,
being
to
where
this
it
to
is.
this day, but to this day, still though, think the scariest music I've ever heard is still, "You're Drowning" in Sonic the Hedgehog 1.
Because it gets
If you-
faster and
if you know-
faster and faster.
Yeah, you never heard it. Just look it up on YouTube somewhere. If I can,
I'll post it.
yeah, make that your alarm in the morning. See how fast
Yeah.
you get up.
I think I think we have that ability. We can play from the PC now over here.
But I mean, I don't know. For like I said, sometimes we sit here, we're like, don't know who it is. We oh, it's Mega Man because we don't have any idea. That one, you know, instantly. Like as soon as that first couple of notes hit, you're like, yep, Silent Hill.
Silent Hill.
Mm.
There's no doubt whatsoever.
Again, it's
Which
so-
makes it, I think, a really good soundtrack and a really good. I mean, because it's really recognizable for what it is.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
I would. I want to do another music show. I want to do another music episode.
I mean, but, you know.
Yeah, we can get the tracks if
yeah.
need be. Yeah.
I know.
You know,
I,
people
I
will-
think the tracks aren't the issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like I set aside the time and actually do it. It's because we did that one last. Did we do it last year, or did we do it the year
But-
before last?
yeah.
We did not do it last year. We did it in 2013. And we haven't done another one since. We loved that show, but I didn't want to do them too
Often.
soon or too often. Yeah, just like maybe twice a year is what I was looking at, and then we just never got around to doing it last year, and hopefully that won't be the case this year. So
Yeah.
Medusa's Mirror says music episode for Valentine's Day.
Next week? A little short on
Probably
time
not,
to
yeah.
set that up. But that would have been a fantastic time to do it, actually. So, but yeah, that'd be good. Anyway, welcome back to the show. If you would like to get in touch with us, if you'd like to talk to us, tell us about your gaming stuff or want to contribute to anything that we may be talking about, you can certainly do so. Remember, this is real radio, so watch the language, but give us a call. 334-272-9228 is the number to get in touch
That
with
was
us.
for Drew.
What was?
The warning.
Yeah, Drew.
No cussing.
He feels bad about that, actually.
As well, he should.
He does feel bad. It never went out over. We
No,
have
but
we have a
we
thing
got
over
this.
here that we can get rid of. So
You know where it is on this one? In the new studio?
Yeah, it's right in here.
Okay.
That was the one thing we were concerned about. You were
Yeah,
like,
because you're fumbling for something that you're used to in the old studio. and-
Well, they don't have it where it was in the old studio.
Yeah.
It used to be very, very close to where my hand could hit it as soon as possible.
Very easily.
It is now away from that hand, and so Drew speaks up in the chat room now. He's like, "Hey, somebody mentioned me. I heard my name." Mumnut, the white sword icon by people's names in the chat room means that they are moderators. They have powers. Actually, if they have a white sword icon near their name, that means they are casts of the show. So if you see somebody with a white sword icon, that means they're
Yeah. So if
people here.
Dennis isn't here, he could still post.
But he's not in there. But he's not in
If
the
he
chat room.
was, if he was in
Yeah.
the chat room but not here.
Well, James is in the chat room, and he's
he
he's a
saying
member of the
anything?
cast. So I believe. You know what? Let's do a chat room roll call. I
Hey,
haven't
let's
done
do that.
Yeah, in fact, he is in the chat room.
Okay.
James is. Let's see. Medusa's Mirror is hanging out with us. Rainbow Rockers. That's a
I like that one.
Yeah, Rainbow Rockers. Overlord Kang. CV Tech 1, Track 03369, Cavalier UK, Cali Synth. Raspy Salamander. Always love it when you're in there, man. That's a great name, Raspy Salamander. AC Wraith also hanging out. Lavos. We've got a Chrono Trigger track coming up with that name in there.
Yeah.
NSMC 99 and Vanderlaws is hanging out with us as well. Tactus 59, Boss Gaming 90, Stufu, and Mubnut hanging out in the chat room. We appreciate you guys watching, listening, and chatting with us. So that's great. So Sony, this was out of nowhere to me.
It was.
I didn't know this was coming. I didn't know that they were in a bad situation as far as needing that they were. I didn't even know they were up for sale, which normally I guess you don't really know when companies are up for sale. But
Yeah.
I just did not. I say I didn't see it coming, but I guess if I look back at things, I could say that I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I suppose.
That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. I just never thought that they would sell it off, Maybe get rid of it or whatever, or maybe, which is what they've done, but just maybe dissolve it or something. Just maybe say, okay, we're going to sell the, here, you guys get EverQuest, you guys take PlanetSide, you guys get this, just kind of parse it out to other in-house studios or sell those off individually. But no, the whole thing is now gone and now is owned by Daybreak Game Company, which is a very strange name anyway.
I mean, Sony also had an issue with the movie aspect of their company too, with was the president that stepped down this past week too.
Well, that comes from the fact that they were.
Yes, but I mean, so bad week for Sony on both this for that.
No, I think it's a good week for Sony in the sense
Cool.
of their movie thing, because that's kind of what you needed to have happen
Yeah.
after those emails
Well,
leaked.
bad thing for her.
Yeah, I think that was a little bit of delayed thing for them to go through or whatever, but it's fine. But the selling of the Sony Online Entertainment, I know, and if James or Dennis were here, they probably would know, and maybe you guys know, but I know that like Sony's big thing is insurance. And I'm not kidding. Their number one thing that makes them the most money is selling insurance.
I did not know that.
Okay. Their electronics division is pretty good. Their gaming division, I think, is actually very bad. It is kind of an anchor on the company, and I don't mean anchor as in like, it is. It's dragging,
dragging
it
them down. Yeah.
If I'm remembering right, and I could be completely wrong on this, this is why good radio show people do research. Bad radio show people
Just talk.
don't. They just talk. But from what I remember, it was never good on the
See, I always thought I heard that
Sony Computer Entertainment. Yeah,
I always thought I heard that it was the
or maybe it's the reverse of that.
like the computers and stuff that was bringing them down, and it was PlayStation that was sort of leveling that section out.
It could
I thought
be
it
the
was
reverse
that.
of it. I
That's
can't
what I
remember.
thought it
It's like
was. Which is why they
Sony's.
stopped
Yeah,
making
Sony's known for
laptops.
like a lot of things. They've got the movie division. They've got their their
Hardware.
They got their home electronic,
theater. Yeah.
their home electronic division of things, which I would encompass being TVs and
Yeah.
and that and the like. Then they've got Sony Computer Entertainment, which is the PlayStation aspect of everything. And then they've got Sony Online Entertainment, which obviously they don't have that anymore. And I can't remember, but I think it was their home electronic stuff. I think it was their TVs were like, it's not really good. It's not a good market for them. They get beat by everybody else.
Yeah.
In that thing, and I'm sure there's people in the chat room who are going to obviously find this information out or tell us how wrong we are, or how right we are. I am not sure, but for them to sell this off, I think it's a good thing.
I mean, as one quote that I did read, it's a strategic divestment of their company of what they if they.
That is corporate speak all the way, isn't it?
That
yeah.
is.
But it's a good way to explain it. They need to get rid of things that if it's going to bring them down, get rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, and how many times have we seen Google drop things? You know, in the blink of an eye, they're always building things, dropping them. So.
No, I'm fine. This now means, from what I understand, it's they can go multi-platform with everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it might help just because, as we know, people bash on, PS Plus always going down, having that issues compared to Xbox Live. But Microsoft has how much experience doing networking, running servers globally, as if where Sony's kind of hot behind on that aspect. So
Yeah.
I think it could also help, in that with those games as their servers
Yeah.
as well.
I know. Like I said, I think it's a good thing. I know some people in the chat room are saying maybe they'll fix H1Z1.
But I mean, that's more developer. That doesn't
Yeah.
have anything to do with.
Development houses
But
didn't
I
change.
still get why people are bragging on the game. It's not even out yet.
What, H1?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what?
And
Early
it's free
access?
to play. I don't know what more you want. Huh?
Is it at early access still? or-
Yeah. If you want to be an early access, you have to pay.
Yeah.
But
If you just want to play it,
yeah,
you can just go and play it.
but you know
don't
what you're
have to
paying
pay.
for.
Yeah, you don't have to pay
That's a
for
whole other
anything.
subject. It just annoys me.
That's fine. No, it is. But yeah, developers. I don't think developers on any of the titles changed.
No.
Yeah, all that stuff's still the same. So when you want to ask for, hopefully this gets fixed here, it's just that now another company owns it and can now, obviously not be limited by just the Sony consoles, either be it PC or just PlayStation. They can now, what's the DC one? DC Universe Online.
Yeah.
Strictly PC and PlayStation.
Yep.
But now that can branch out over to Xbox. And they mentioned something about mobile and more other than that. I don't know about the mobile stuff, but there's a lot of stuff that is not on Xbox that can now go over there. A lot of free-to-play stuff that is not on Xbox and can now go over there. Xbox can kind of grab that free-to-play market that PlayStation had a really good hold on. I'm not exactly sure. Can you look up all the titles that are under Sony Online Entertainment? I'm curious if Warframe falls under that. I don't know if they do. I'm thinking of everything that's free to play on PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
Warframe and it's not War. Is it War Thunder? I can't remember. Obviously, DC Universe Online is another one. PlanetSide 2.
What was that other DC one? The Gods Among Us.
That's Injustice. guys.
Yeah, Injustice.
That was not a Sony
That's-
developed
okay.
thing. That was NetherRealm, Mortal Kombat
Another
guys.
realm, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the Mortal Kombat guys. So
While I was looking at that, I was looking at looking for articles on Sony's profits, and nothing recently. I like this one from May of 2014. We knew things were bad at Sony, but we didn't know they were this bad. Its latest earnings announced they lost a $1.246 billion dollar loss, and they haven't.
In what department?
Well, it doesn't say it's overall. It's
Yeah.
overall, but Sony managed to profit $435 million, but its first profit in years. It has missed profits in six of the last 7 years at the company overall.
That's just Sony in
That's
general?
Sony in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
I imagine there are certain divisions that are losing more than
Yeah.
the others.
and when you mentioned something about selling off, they sold off their Vio PC business amongst the slump they were going through.
Yeah, remember, was it last year sometime? Remember all the stocks they sold off? You guys remember that at all?
Yeah.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Sold off like $200 million worth of stocks,
Goodness.
$400 million.
Jeez.
And
No.
it was just
I
stuff
remember
they
that.
didn't need anymore, but still.
Yeah.
I mean, besides the game, I'm trying to find out. It's just bringing up the EverQuest, PlanetSide, and DC, and then coming soon.
Mm. So maybe Warframe isn't, but I mean,
I never heard that Warframe. was.
it may not be. It just may that PlayStation. It may be that just PlayStation has a deal with them
Well, here's
to be exclusive to their console.
Landmark.
That's
Dragon's,
EverQuest.
Dragon's Prophet. Is that still EverQuest?
I don't know about that one. I know Landmark is EverQuest.
And then H1Z1. So
Yeah.
that's what's coming up on their website.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Like I said, Warframe and a couple of the others. that I'm
Warframe
thinking
is
of.
done by Digital Extremes.
So then no, yeah.
Yeah.
So then they have a separate deal just with Sony to be exclusive to home consoles.
Yeah, and
so.
War Thunder's the Beetle company. That's another company.
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't fall into that. So now that I think about it, not very many titles under the Sony Online Entertainment
Yeah,
banner.
I only ever knew of like 4 or 5, but then you were bringing out other ones that I was like, okay.
Well, I wasn't sure. PlanetSide is in there.
Star Wars Galaxies used to be before they closed it
Well,
down.
they closed that. So.
Yeah.
But PlanetSide is in there. H1Z1 and DC Universe Online. 3 that I can think of. And EverQuest.
And
That's
War
4.
Thunder's Gaijin.
Yeah. EverQuest is the 4th. So 4 titles. No, that's pretty good. 4 titles under that banner that are now going to get pretty much multi-platform distribution. PC now PC was on a lot of them, but Xbox for other people to play that with. I don't know.
I really don't think much is going to change.
I don't think so either.
I don't know.
Hopefully it'll change in a benefit for Sony.
Could.
If if it's just all doom and gloom for them, hopefully it'll change for better for them. And I don't know of any I don't know of any upcoming projects that SOE was working on. H1, that was pretty much was it.
Yeah.
but I mean, most of those games already on the list are pretty old.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, EverQuest is still in or EverQuest Next.
Yeah.
And EverQuest Landmark, they're still doing their little beta type stuff.
Yep.
They're still cooking in their ovens, and aren't ready to be released yet. So, but I mean, again, this doesn't mean the developer changed. It just meant the people that owns the distribution rights, I guess, or whatever to that has changed hands now. So yeah. I don't think we'll see much of a big change there. It was just kind of surprising to read whenever it did actually happen. So something else real quick before we go to break. I noticed that the owner of the Condemned IP is looking for somebody else to make the next game, which I thought was fantastic because I have
Woohoo. Did you play 2?
very little of it, but I did play some of it.
Same
I
here.
actually enjoyed the detective aspects of 2.
Yeah, same here.
More
I played that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More than I did, and I don't even think there were really detective aspects in 1. But
No,
remember-
you were
I don't
searching
remember.
for birds. I think that something like collect all the birds in the stage. I mean, it just gave you little story elements as you went through.
Yeah.
I think I haven't played the game. I'm just going off what I've read or looked about because I was doing research on it when I was
I'm not
thinking about picking it up too.
I'm not exact. Well, I've got 2. Well,
Yeah.
you've already played 2.
I played 2. Yeah.
Did you play 1? Did you play?
No, I haven't played one. It was Xbox.
That's right.
Exclusive. I haven't played Condemned the original. I just played.
Did I trade
number
that
2.
in?
I saw my copy.
Yeah.
I'll have to find it, but if you want.
Well, it's on PC. It's
Yeah.
also on PC now.
Oh,
The
PC?
first one is
Okay.
on PC, but
I played a little bit of the second one. I didn't get nearly into it or as far into it as
Yeah.
the first one.
we tried it. I mean, like we had done this group play. Well, I say group play. James played it, and a bunch of us watched. He would come over and play, and a bunch of us watched him play it.
Yeah.
And we tried to do that with 2, and we got a little ways into it, but we stopped. I don't know what made it. I don't know what kept us from going further.
Mhm.
It wasn't the game itself. I think it was just that just we got busy with other stuff. So
Yeah.
we couldn't make it as regular as we had done with the other one. We'd gotten through the first one, so we were like, okay, let's try the second one. Okay, not bad. It just did, but we didn't feel as compelled. Still, the aspects of that where you actually had to do detective work and use the UV light and all this other stuff to find clues, and I enjoyed a lot of that more than I did in the first one, because obviously it wasn't there. But then I've done in a lot of the detective aspect type games.
Yeah. But one of the things that got me was looking at all the clues and getting everything I could, and then still coming up with like 4 out of 5 star ranking. I'm like, I must have missed something. I'm thinking in the back of my head, what did I miss? What
That's
did I
you.
not do?
Yeah, that's you. We didn't really care. As long as we got through the level, we were like, okay, let's keep going.
Yeah.
It wasn't a sense of trying to.
Wasn't that deep for you? Yeah.
We were playing it for the story. We weren't playing it for any kind of self satisfaction as far as doing excellent in a level.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, let's get to the next level. Let's get to the end of this thing and figure it out. We weren't trying to speed it along because we weren't unhappy with it. We were just playing it like you would, like a movie almost.
Yeah.
Don't rewind it because I missed certain things. Just let it go through, and that's how we played it whenever we did play it. So, I can't recommend Condemned enough. Loved that.
Mm-hmm.
And Condemned 2, I never stopped playing it, but I never had a problem with it. As to the reason why I stopped playing it. I actually enjoyed that. So that's another one I'd put on my list of recommendations, would be Condemned 2. We're going to take a break, and it's a very, very short break, but when we come back, we will have more of In-Game Chat for our final segment. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can call us. We'd love to hear from you, 334-272-9228. That is 334-272-9228. We will be back in just a moment. As I mentioned earlier, here's music from Chrono Trigger. This is Lavos theme. Really enjoy this track. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is another game that I have you might be interested in because it was only RJ, because it was only on 360. It did get a PC release, but I don't believe you've played it on PC. This is from Alan Wake. It's called Welcome to Bright Falls.
Oh, okay.
You can get that cheap too
On the PC, you can get it pretty cheap, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I've got the 360 version if you'd like to borrow a copy.
Okay.
But yeah, so welcome back to In-Game Chat. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you should do it soon because we're almost out of time. The last segment here, 334-272-9228 is the number to get in touch with us. Just before the show, Nate was talking, or just before we came back, We're talking about what we were going to talk about next, and Nate brought up that Hotline Miami 2 is getting a release date, which I
Yes.
guess it had not had up until this point.
It
huh?
is not. It was just first quarter 2015 is what they've been saying.
I kept seeing, I've seen it at a couple of E3s and whatever else. So
Now the level creator has been pushed back to
Really?
second quarter,
That's
which
odd.
everyone knew, but everyone's known that for a while.
that's what I played at E3
Yeah.
was the level editor.
And that's been pushed back, but they want to release the game. Yeah, so last week, it was like Monday or Tuesday, I forget what day it was. On their Twitter, they posted a number, which you can call the number. I put it here in chat if anyone is curious. And there's a sound file. If
Oh
you
my
wanna hear
god!
it.
I was gonna say give them the number, but it's a very long number.
But yeah, and if you call the number, it gives you a crazy message of.
The name of the game is Hotline Miami Wrong Number, right? Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number.
Yeah, that's the second one. And so it gives you a crazy message. The guy kind of starts like stuttering his words and repeats like the same words.
Does it have any vulgarity?
I don't even think it's really audible.
Can we call it?
much.
Can you get your finger on the dump just in case?
Let's see.
Live radio, folks.
All right, keep talking. I'm gonna call it.
Okay. But yeah, so they posted that on Twitter.
Yeah.
And they just posted the number. That was it. They didn't do anything else. And not working.
I can't call it.
Okay.
I can dial out from my little room in there during the week, but for whatever reason, I can't dial out from this phone in here. That's strange.
Gotcha.
All right, never mind.
Yeah, so it played the little sound clip, and I believe the one word he repeated 10 times, I think that's what it was. And another part in there, he says something about marching, and so then everyone figured out it was March 10th is the release
Is that
date.
confirmed, or
Yeah.
are you just saying that that's
It was
okay?
confirmed. It's-
All right.
which then people were leaving voicemails on the number
Uh-huh.
that they gave out, and they retweeted later on. They said, unfortunately, we cannot reply back to the 22,109 voicemails that have been
Wow.
left.
Nice.
But yeah, so I'm super excited for that.
And have you already pre-ordered the collector's edition?
I have not. No.
But that's the one you're going to try and get.
Yeah, I was gonna get it.
The one with
it's
the-
still
that's
available.
Those
the
are
one
the
with the-
LPs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I was gonna wait till they actually gave a release date to pre-order, just because I didn't feel like waiting.
Now you
But
got
now
a
that I
release
know.
date.
Okay.
Which if you do pre-order, because you said you were slightly considering it.
I am. I haven't yet. Still,
Yeah.
thinking about it. But
I do know that if you do order it now, at this point now, it's on delay. So many people have ordered it.
okay.
But yeah,
Still, you'd
so-
be able to get it though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like some pre-orders where they just don't restock once
Like
they're
the
gone.
Homeworld.
Yeah,
Man.
Struck a nerve.
Yeah.
I've been paying close attention to, again, over on NeoGAF, they have a buy-sell trade thread.
Oh yeah.
And I've been paying close attention to that, and I missed somebody selling their...
How
that.
much?
Oh,
It was like 150.
How much is it?
It's 100.
yeah.
So $50.
Yeah, they did, $50 markup. He was just trying to sell it. Shipping was going to cost 120, and then he threw he threw another 30 on top of it to mark it up to 150. And I didn't really feel anything bad about paying for that if I was going to try and get it, but somebody else snagged it. So,
I'm sure.
yeah.
You got
so-
to actually see it in person, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it looks really nice.
yes, very nice.
How big
Of
is
course.
it?
It's what, 6 inches or
About
or
as
is it-
tall as this microphone. This, where it is there. Maybe a little bit taller than that, but about that high.
And it glows.
I
The Batman
can't,
one's pretty big.
The what?
The Batman.
I know.
It's pretty tall.
Yeah, that's another one that is not restocked.
It's on Best Buy.
On the Amazon side is what I'm thinking of, is that they haven't restocked, which leads me to believe that once it's sold, even at Best Buy, it's that's it.
It's sold. Are you still doing both of those?
I am still doing both of those. Are you still buying one of those
Yes.
off me? Yes. Okay then.
Just making sure.
I'm gonna do the
Me
one
too. Just making sure.
I'm gonna do the one from Best Buy. Or
Yeah,
the-
I might switch it up and grab those other two over at Best Buy, which is
Well,
still
no,
fine.
They only sell one at Best Buy.
Oh, they only do the one.
Yes.
Which the
Batman.
The Batman.
Right. They don't do the Batmobile at Best Buy.
Which one is still sold out on Amazon?
The Batmobile.
Okay, so the Batmobile one.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the one that's like gone.
Yeah, but that's the one I did.
They haven't restocked. Destiny's big Ghost Edition, whatever it was, that came with the little ghost thing. They never restocked that either.
You mean the little dinklage?
The little dinklage, yeah. They never restocked it. So I saw somebody did a video of that.
Oh, with
Samuel L. Jackson. It worked out pretty good.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad.
Same excitement.
Yeah. So as far as games releasing this week, is there anything due out what is this week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Evolve.
We got Evolve. It says on the 10th.
Nice.
Yeah.
I thought that was later in the month. Good God.
No.
I am
Are you
far
still getting
behind.
it?
Yeah.
From.
Well, I was hoping to get it cheaper than,
Oh.
Yeah.
But I thought you were going to order it from somewhere else. I thought you had pre-ordered it somewhere.
I can get it on Green Man Gaming right now for like 40 some odd bucks.
I didn't know if you did Best Buy because of the $10.
No.
Okay.
Well, because this is a PC title.
Yeah.
I want to play it on PC, and so I can't take it back
Exactly.
and get the return on it. That's the only reason I'll use the Best Buy stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Unless I get enough credit to where I can just practically flat out own the game and get it for free, and then I'll keep it. But I can't really do that with this. I've got $30 sitting there waiting for it, but I'm going to spend that on the order, and then run through that as fast as possible and turn it right back in so I can get, the $40 back or whatever. So
Which, well, I don't want to know that.
what?
I saw someone saying about the order was about 10 to 12 hours of gameplay, so you might be able to do that pretty easy.
Oh yeah, I should be. I
There's
hope
nothing
so.
else besides gameplay with that game.
I know. Yeah,
That's the only thing that's definitely a little scary of why I'm glad I'm not actually paying for it.
That's it's interesting to think that a company can release a game like that these days.
Being just single player? Or
Completely single player.
Yeah.
No
I'm okay with that,
seemingly real intention to ever go back and play through it again, other than enjoy the story again.
Mm-hmm.
But nothing like any kind of collectibles, no new game plus or anything like that I know of, and I could be completely wrong. But there's no multiplayer. This is not an open world type game that you can go and explore.
I mean, Wolfenstein did that.
But you had the
That's
second.
true. No. He's right on that, though. He's right that Wolf didn't have any multiplayer aspects.
No.
You're right.
No.
So
just to play through.
also, though, that was a
depending on who you
multi-platform
save.
title. This is a
True.
system
But,
exclusive.
in Wolfenstein, you could go back through and get the other.
It
items.
did. It had
So,
that.
It
It
I'm
had
just saying
that.
it's no online
Yeah.
or nothing. It was just single player.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also had collectibles and stuff in it, I
Yeah.
believe, as well. So
It did.
Do you know the order doesn't?
I don't know.
Okay.
It probably does.
Yeah,
I'm just
I'm thinking DLC later on down the line anyway.
probably.
I don't know. I'd like to find
See,
somebody who.
I'm completely okay with it just being single player.
Yeah, it's fine. No.
Yeah,
It is
I mean-
fine. But I'd like to find somebody who's not doing what we're doing and who is actually throwing in their money and excited for this. I'm not excited for the order.
Yeah.
I am. I'm excited for it.
I'm not.
Oh.
I'm not. It's not that I'm not looking forward to it.
I've always loved werewolf type games. So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I do like the setting
Mm-hmm.
that I've seen. But I got a bad feeling that the story's going to be horrible.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I got a really good, or I say I've got a good feeling that the story's going to be horrible. It's just going to be, I feel pretty confident in that feeling that the story's going to be crap.
But I mean, we lose nothing. So. That's why
Exactly.
I
We don't. But there's somebody out there who is
True.
saving up that money and throwing it down.
I did kind of want to ask you guys this in chat. You could throw in your opinion as well. What do you guys think is justifiable for a $60 game? How much time?
Whew.
To beat-
We've had these conversations before.
Well, yeah.
And I think the ultimate outcome of our talking about it that I can remember was that it basically got down to it didn't matter
Didn't matter.
if
I can agree with that.
if a game was like 2 hours and cost $60, but those 2 hours were some of the best 2 hours you have ever
And really
experienced
touched
in
you,
gaming.
really resonates, then yeah, it's worth playing.
Worth owning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because people spend how many time in New Vegas?
I spent $300 on an Iron Giant statue. I make stupid choices in my purchases.
What was the Fallout 3?
Yeah.
Set in DC. Loved
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
New Vegas, I hated it.
Yeah.
Really?
I don't know why.
Was it
just so
hardcore mode?
weird. Huh?
Was it hardcore mode?
No.
No, just
I just didn't like the story. I didn't like the. I just didn't like it. So
just
I'm
didn't like-
saying,
just didn't- okay.
that's how you can just people spend how
Alright.
many 300-400 hours in New Vegas, and I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting that you're wrong, but I mean,
I mean, that's fine.
I'm kidding. No,
I can't remember what sparked the debate about it. because it always comes up. You look at something like Skyrim, which seems to give you the best bang for your buck, and then you look at something like Portal.
Yeah.
And I think that was one of the things that we came to the conclusion on, is that Portal gives you a great experience.
Look at Destiny.
Yeah. James in the chat room says he would have paid $60 for the original Portal, and completely. I mean, it's bonus that it came in the orange box, but that game when it came out, being so different and so unique and funny and just worth it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a short game, but...
Well, see, I think this is the conclusion that we kind of came to, was that it doesn't matter how much it costs. It matters what you get out of it. And maybe not everybody got the same thing out of Portal that a lot of us did when we played it. Mm-hmm. And so maybe they thought, well, that's just that wasn't worth my money or my time. I look at a game, you look at a game like Skyrim or Oblivion, which is... Both of those games are not games that I enjoy. I just don't get into that. I don't know. The setting is not my thing, and I'm just not into it. So the value for that is not very good for me.
You wouldn't pay $60 for...
$60 for Skyrim, I am not going to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, okay, but more of a game that you're going to like.
I know, $60 for...
So for The Order, say you like The Order. Good story.
Right.
But it's only 5 hours. Just be dramatic here.
Fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Are those an awesome 5 hours?
You enjoyed the game.
Okay.
It wasn't awesome, but you enjoyed the game.
Then that's fine. That they're going to do that, but you've got to take that risk initially.
I'm asking you, though.
What?
If you only got 5 hours of good gameplay for $60,
and I really, really enjoyed it,
or you just liked it. You didn't really enjoy it, but you liked it.
Well, then no, it's not going to be worth it if I just kind of liked it.
I'm just seeing where your range would be.
Right.
So if it was 2 hours of awesome gameplay, it'd be worth it.
Yeah, if it was 5 hours of awesome gameplay, it would be worth it. If it was any length of time, but it was fantastic,
Gotcha.
then it would be worth it. But if I just, that was pretty good, then that's not at the level that I'm going to say that was good for me, or value for me. Back to the Oblivion Skyrim situation, Dragon Age falls into this as well. Those are games that probably have that do have well worth your money for the $60 if you want to go from back when it originally released. Completely worth your money. The time to value comparison is tons to do, and you only got to pay $60 for it. And that game will last you for a very long time if you want to go through the whole thing. But me, $60 for that game is not...
Yeah, it's not your jams.
Not my thing. Drew gifted it to me on Steam, so I'm good. I didn't put anything into that. Whereas a game like maybe Red Dead, it gives me plenty of area to explore and tons of stuff to do with. That would be worth the time. I'm afraid I got some rose-colored glasses now when I'm thinking about Red Dead. I really need to go back to it. Well,
I was actually I picked it up on PS3 from the PlayStation Network just to have a copy of it on the PlayStation, where I don't need a disc and everything. Playing back through it, I wasn't as against it as everyone else, around here, was. I enjoyed it. I liked how it was kind of solitude, where it's not like the big bustling city of, Grand Theft Auto.
I don't think any of us had a problem with it.
Occasionally you see someone,
Yeah. I don't think any of us here had a problem with it.
James, I don't think James liked it.
I don't remember.
I'm not sure if Jeremy
There were times in that
played
game where I just opened up the game and rode the horse for a little while out to nowhere.
I would just go bird shooting.
And just would seriously, I sat on the train once and just watched the sunset as I was riding across the entire map. That was great. It all falls on the person who is making the purchase, the person who is spending their money. This, going back to the original point of The Order, this is a proven development company, but this is a brand new IP. Brand new IP, brand new story. This is a console exclusive. It's not as though it's another Gears of War. It's not as though, although it seems to mirror a lot of that, it's not as though it's another Halo or something like that, a born or a proven franchise. And I think a lot of people probably fell into the Destiny hole on this too. Hey, it's Bungie. It's Bungie. Sure, let's go into this. you know. And I got hooked on that from the demo. That demo hooked, or the not the demo, but the beta, whatever it was. That hooked me in.
And the Loot Cave.
And so I was there. The Loot Cave didn't exist until we started playing it.
Loot Cave's in Dying Light.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, I heard about that. But it's I think it's hard to ask people for that amount of money for something that seems to be giving very limited gameplay.
You know, another game.
Wolf is another. You know, you go back to Wolfenstein. That's another cherished IP.
Mm-hmm.
It was being done by a very well, BioWare, very or Bethesda. I'm sorry, it was Bethesda, wasn't it?
Look it up.
Yes,
I think
Bethesda.
so.
It was Bethesda.
I think it was Bethesda.
It was Bethesda that did it. Very well-known company with a very good track record, and but even at that,
I thought they were just the publishers.
they were. You're right. They were the publishers. They were not the developing studio on that.
Machine Games.
Yeah, Machine Games.
Well, the game that comes out Tuesday, Evolve. I don't think that's worth $60.
Yeah. See, that falls on you. To make that assessment of it.
Yeah.
It falls on the person spending the money to make that assessment of it. And I look at Evolve and I'm like, well, Evolve has a very good Titanfall feel to me. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it for a good while with a bunch of people, maybe just a stint of a weekend or 2 weekends.
And that's it.
And then it's not going to be played anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Some would say, well, then if you know that's going to happen, then why would you go into it?
Yeah.
Here's my answer to that. Because maybe it doesn't happen that way. Maybe it does last longer. And if it does, then I'm there for it. If it doesn't, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the money I spent on it.
As long as you enjoy your
I'm trying to spend as little money as possible on it, so whatever I come to, I'll be okay with.
You know my limit, so.
I know your limit. I know.
I'm looking forward to Friday. Is going to be Majora's Mask on the 3DS. And the new 3DS system.
Yeah. Are you getting a new 3DS system?
What's the difference?
Better processor.
Another thumbstick?
Another thumbstick. It actually...
There's only one?
Yeah, on the original 3DS.
On the original...
I've never known anyone that have one. So
on the 3DS right now, there's only one thumbstick. On the
this
new
one that has
3DS,
the C stick up on the right the right side too.
Yeah.
Okay.
And apparently there's only Medusa's Mirror over at PAX was telling me that there's at least one game that can only play on this new 3DS.
They'll probably start. I mean,
they're working on one.
Doing that. I mean, it'll have Amiibo support.
Mm-hmm.
It has better 3D processing, so you can actually tilt your screen a little bit, to the angles and still see the 3D. I don't know. I mean, I have the original 3DS, so I don't even have the extra large. So for me, it'd be nice to have the bigger screen, and the C stick and everything else like that.
Mm.
I am looking forward to. I never did play much of Majora's Mask, but something like that would be great for travel. So I don't know. I think I might.
Yeah.
I might bite on it.
I had a chance to play it over at PAX South, but I never did. I don't know. God, Nintendo seems to be making DSs a dime a dozen now. 2DS, 3DS, the new 2DS, 3DS. I mean, I don't know how many incarnations that it's gone through, but I
the DS line itself, it's gone through several.
I don't do anything with my DS anymore. I really don't. You want to buy a DS? Anybody want to buy a DS?
Give you $10.
Nope.
Do you have the one
that value does not work for me, sir.
Do you have the one where you can play Game Boy Advance games?
I can't remember.
Okay.
That's how much I've been involved with my DS. I haven't bought a DS game in forever. So
I still have my Game Boy Color. So.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So we never did get around to talking about any of the stuff I mentioned in the chat room. That's fine. No, that's fine. I love those kind of discussions. Even though the end result is it's up to you as a gamer to how you value your time as compared to how much money you spend.
Yeah.
You could spend relatively not much and still have a terrible experience.
Yeah. So the only ones that I wanted to get to real quick, which we still got time for, is Assassin's Creed Rogue got a PC announcement. Mm-hmm. We kind of all knew that was coming, but still no next-gen console announcement. What was the other thing? Nintendo's YouTube revenue share program has not been very good for people who do
Let's Plays
YouTube videos for Nintendo. It's even getting worse from what I understand. So there was that, and then we wanted to touch on Netflix developing a live-action Legend of Zelda series, which came out of nowhere yesterday afternoon.
Yeah.
Completely. I hope it works for them. I don't know.
I don't know about
for
that.
Netflix or
Yeah, it's for Netflix. Yeah.
No,
I mean-
I'm saying hope it works for Netflix or for.
Oh no,
Zelda?
I hope
Hope it
the
works
show
for
is
us.
good.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, because I'm thinking, what's the track record on video games being made into movies? It's not very good overall, is it? I mean, I'm thinking of
I watched Need for Speed the other day, and it's horrible.
let's see that movie for Dead or Alive. That was hot garbage. You had the
Second Silent Hill.
Uwe
song.
Boll. I would say like the original Silent Hill movie was like bearable.
That was
Yeah.
Maybe one of the best examples, and maybe the original Resident Evil was,
no.
Mario was my favorite.
Oh,
Yeah,
be
Mario
quiet.
Brothers is
Be
in there.
quiet.
Mortal Kombat.
I like that.
actually.
Okay. The original Mortal Kombat. I mean, although
Yeah.
it didn't really hold up.
Boy, if you go back and watch that now, it is
It's
horrible.
pretty. Christopher Lambert is just Raiden.
It really
Yeah.
is.
It's really
Then the next
bad.
one they had James Remar as Raiden the second time.
No, I didn't even bring up Annihilation. I only know these because we watched
Yeah.
the thing. I watched the 9-part documentary thing last night, but Annihilation was horrible.
That-
It
yes.
was so bad.
Yeah.
Oh my
It's
god.
not, nowhere to go
Oh
but
my
up.
god, it's bad.
I mean, nowhere,
It's
nowhere to go-
really bad.
Nowhere to go but up in that one. But I like the description they gave it. Netflix says it's describing it as a Game of Thrones for a family audience.
Which isn't Game of Thrones.
That's a horrible description.
yeah, I know.
Or, okay.
That's really, really bad. Anyway, folks, we appreciate everybody who joined us in the chat room. There is a lot of you in there actually right now. Cavalier UK, Track Zero, Raspy Salamander, Cowabunga Speed, another great name. Taxis 59, Cali Sense, Medusa's Mirror, Duke Frucum, Alps 25, 37, 7, Hut, Overlord Kang, T Square Fake, Vanderlaws, Lavos, Corrupt 501, Rainbow Rockers, Candy 55, AC Wraith, Mumnuts, Tofu, Infinity Forces, and Gears of War 15. Thank you all for hanging out in the chat room with us. We do very much appreciate it. Thanks everybody for joining us in the chat room, as well as everybody listening on the stream or even on the radio. We really appreciate it. We do. We really appreciate that, and we thank you for doing it. Go to ingamechat.net. You can join us on Twitter, on Facebook, our forums at colonyofgamers.com. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and subscribe to our Twitch channel. And if you're on Steam, we've got a Steam group you can join up with over there and play with us and other listeners, and sometimes we do giveaways there as well. So look for that. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. We will see you next Saturday. Here's music from Ghost Recon.